Next League of Path of Exile 1 has been announced and it's Keepers of the Flame, and instead of boring you with my own analysis that no one seems to watch, let me know in the comments down below if you would like me to express my thoughts, I decided to, as always, recommend some emergent builds and thoughts from more prolific content creators who know Path of Exile and who treat it a little bit more like a job and a number crunching exercise. I'm not like that, I'm not trying to compete with them, so instead I'm doing this for fun curation work that we can double deep into. I find something interesting for myself and you hopefully find something interesting for yourselves. So please do give me a like if you appreciate me doing this research for you. I am presenting 5 emergent builds. They are not maybe full builds. So first build that I am gonna watch very closely and I recommend to you as well is from one of my favorite creators, Palsteron. So Palsteron is talking about the new skill called Kinetic Rain that was just announced, and this is not really a build showcase per se, because again, it's speculative at this stage from everyone. It's analysis of what Kinetic Rain is capable of. So he is kind of drawing this map of how he believes, based on the footage demonstrated, how the Kinetic Rain shots are going to be overlapping in the given area. He believes that there is a certain auto-targeting kind of mechanic over here, similar to how Rain of Arrows works. So it's going to be targeting the enemies wherever they stand in that area. Obviously movement is going to mess this up a little bit. So lots of unknowns. He points out a lot of unknowns over here, such as whether or not Kinetic Rain is going to be potent straight away, aka you can use it as a league starter and you can use it in leveling, or it's gonna become a lot more potent and really destroy everything and look as fun as it looks on the screen if you have, let's say, arrow speed and projectile speed, kind of those type of parameters leveled up towards the end game. So that's kind of in a nutshell what he's talking about. Deep analysis as always. As always, all the links to original videos are in the description to my video. I recommend it. I'm gonna watch it. So basically, he's gonna start the league as Kinetic Rain Elementalist, most likely. He's also pointing out briefly that there is a powerful speculation around Power Siphon Elementalist alternative build. So these are 2 things for us to watch. Now, that's the build number 1. Build number 2, we're going to talk about my other, one of my favorite creators called Lolcohol. Yes, it's a great, very creative name. I like Lolcohol because he has a little more kind of all-rounded presentation. He doesn't rush, he doesn't mumble, he is doing a great job, much better than a lot of other creators that are a lot more prolific than even Lolcohol is, to his own kind of benefit. And he is focusing on Poison Vortex Assassin build. So he obviously tried this build before. I have not personally, but it's my second most interested that I'm most interested in. He explains everything in his video, including how poisons work, how they are applied. He explains that this build will rely very heavily on critical strikes. And these critical strikes are going to proliferate and create more poison spread, essentially. He also very nicely covers the pros and cons of this particular build, which is very nice, very detailed, and does a speculative POB walkthrough for 327. So that's the second build I recommend for you, and I'm only recommending what I'm going to be watching as well. The third creator is not among my regular kind of checks that I do, but occasionally he pops into my field of view, and here I have to give him credit because I think it's a solid build, and it's from the person called Jorgen, or Jorgen if you would like to call him that. The main thing here, and that might attract you, is that it's a very basic bare bones Marauder Earth Shatter build, that you start with Ground Slam, that's how you start leveling, but then you take Earth Shatter, and pretty much Earth Shatter with augmentations, with auras, etc., takes you through the whole game. The good thing about this particular video and his explanation is that it takes you through all the acts. So his maybe POB as far as the build itself perhaps is a little bit less detailed than some others that you may find. However, what I like about this is that he goes detailed act by act. You don't see that many creators who actually put so much effort into explaining how it goes act by act. So especially if you're new to the game, to Path of Exile 1, and Grinding Gear Games are obviously doing a great job of making sure that people are engaged and coming back to the game, or new people are coming to the game. The entry into the game has always been very, very high. It's very hard to get into the game. So I think Jorgen over here is doing a pretty good job offering you POB and this basic, very melee based build. So perhaps you'd be interested in that. Next build number 4 here that I'd like to showcase to you is from Gazi TV, and it is his Spectre-based Necromancer Witch. POB is available. It's obviously preliminary, and preliminary, if you take a shot every single time Gazi in his video says the word preliminary, you're gonna be drunk completely on the floor rolling. He is definitely disclaiming himself on multiple occasions that it's a preliminary build. Yes, mate, it's a preliminary build. Walkthrough feels a little bit rushed in this particular case, but Gazi is a well-known streamer. Gazi is very good. His builds are really solid. So in this particular case, if you would like your Spectres to kill everything for you, this could be a build to watch. Will I build this? I love Necromancer, but not specifically Spectre types of it. Yeah, maybe, otherwise I wouldn't include it here. So that's one to watch as well. Finally, last but not the least, as a matter of fact, very likely that I will start with this build number 5 today, and that's from my favorite build creator in Path of Exile 1 community, Pox Kappa. Pox Kappa talks about how he would basically he reveals his thoughts on the content reveal. He's quite excited about this, and he talks, of course, because he is the king of Righteous Fire, he talks about Righteous Fire permutations, whether Righteous Fire has been affected by the announced changes of the League, and what he's gonna do basically with that. So it's again not a complete build, it's preliminary, using Gazi's terminology here as well, but I think Pox Kappa's Righteous Fire is going to slaughter everything once again. And from myself, I'm going to add that while we were watching the reveal cinematic and everything else that was shown on the screen by the game directors, it looks like you'll be swarmed by monsters, well, because you are opening breaches, right? Like, you're swarmed by monsters. As a matter of fact, I would love just an aura to burn everything around me. I think this is going to be, as always, Righteous Fire is going to be the safest build, probably. The safest build way. You may not be able to just stand and do nothing, but you will be able to get away with that kind of lazy gameplay a lot more so than, let's say, Poison Vortex Assassin or something that requires you to build and actively engage with the enemies in order to even stay alive. So these are the 5 builds, my friends. If you like this curation, if you like these little things, rather than me speculating on my own half-baked builds, please do give me a like, especially if I still have your attention and there is a handful of you who are still watching the video up to this point. You're really important to me, you are. I'm still monitoring what's happening in Path of Exile 1, really excited for the launch of the League, and definitely gonna play it, So gonna check in with you, please stay tuned, don't go anywhere, and I hope you've enjoyed this once again. Goodbye for now, talk to you next week about something else, Path of Exile related, very likely.